Hello YouTube, my name is Rory. And yesterday on October 2nd at 3:30-ish, give or take, I got my first T shot. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I did kind of procrastinate in this video in the case that honestly there was a carnival going on yesterday and it was lots of fun. So I didn't make the video and I came home very tired and I didn't want to do it, so I put it off then. Now it is October 3rd. Remember to wear pink and remember Aaron Samuels because October 3rd. And it is 6:25 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with Buffalo. So anyway, I got my first injection for testosterone. Finally, I've been waiting for 3 years for this, and I am very, very excited. Um, Very excited for the changes and all of that. So the first thing I'm going to do is show you the tea, testosterone. Comes in this little guy. It's itty bitty. It is very hard to focus on. But it basically says testosterone siphonite injection, 200 milligrams per milliliter. So my doctor gave this to me, and we checked when we did the injection the first time because I'm taking 100 milligrams per milliliter every 2 weeks, meaning there's some left over in the bottle. In this little bottle, I have 3 of those, and she checked. Apparently, it is it's not a multi-use container, so we had to throw the rest out from the other container, unfortunately. So I'm considering talking to my doctor and asking for a multi-use container so we're not wasting some of the tea, but also that might change if my dose gets up or anything. If it gets lower, then I might ask, hey, can we do a multi-use one? Because that we wasted half of it. And it wasn't actually that expensive. For the 3 bottles, it was $15, and I didn't have to pay for syringes the first time, so that was nice. I'm pretty sure it's because I went through my school for it. But yeah, so I ended up using a 20 gauge needle to inject myself. My girlfriend actually did a saline injection in my left leg at first, which felt very strange and kind of stung, and it was very interesting because she just had to stab me in the leg with the needle, so it went in very quickly and then injected, but it burned. I could feel it move out, and it was a very odd feeling. And so the nurse had told me originally, oh, it's going to get worse than that. So I got kind of nervous. So she let me have my hand kind of on her hand, so as we like injected it, I was still injecting myself with the testosterone. But the testosterone was actually a lot easier to inject than, and it did not feel nearly as painful as the saline. So that was interesting. But so some of the questions that I had for the nurse specifically were some things I've seen on like YouTube channels like Benton, possibly even Ty Turner, but some of the things that I've gotten from just gathering, looking at YouTube, reading up stuff for this appointment. The first thing is pulling back for blood. She recommended that. She knows track marks, so I guess she didn't have to worry about it. But she just recommended that you look for like blood, like just pull back a little, not too much. And if you see blood, my other question in like conjunction with that was if you see blood and you have to pull out again, are you able is it contaminated and done? She said no, it's not. So even if you do pull back a little bit and see blood, it's not contaminated. You can still put blood and the testosterone back into you, and everything will be all dandy and great. So another question I had was about bubbles. She recommended flicking. The flicking was a lot harder than I had expected. It's just kind of like you attack it. Like, I don't know. So you just kind of attack it, and that will like get the bubbles out. There's small, tiny ones because it is an oily substance. The tea. I don't know if you can see this, but it is quite oily. It's very, very, very oily. So there are tiny bubbles that do form. That's normal. You won't get an embolism from that. It's just making sure you don't have big bubbles. Like those should go, and you can play around with it, putting it in and out as many times as you need from the little bottle into the syringe. So like I had said, I'm using a 20 gauge needle. She recommended that because I seemed to take it very well. It didn't seem to hurt me. It was not too big, but not too small. It was big enough that I could draw it. I could just stick that same needle into the bottle and pull the syringe so that I could get the testosterone I needed and inject myself. So I wasn't switching needles or anything like that. So that was nice. I kind of like how that is working. I know some nurses do where you switch needles, so you have one needle to draw it up because it is so thick it needs a very wide needle, and then a thinner needle to inject it. So my other worries were that it would break. Apparently these needles are made of steel now, so they will not break in your skin. That was just probably a not reasonable worry, but just something in the back of my mind that was still there that I was concerned about. And then yeah, so I'm taking 100 milligrams per milliliter every 2 weeks. So I have 3 bottles. I used one of them obviously this past yesterday. Wow, it was already just yesterday. But so I used one yesterday, and I have another 2, which will take me into 6 weeks. So at 6 weeks, I'll have to get more. But for $15, I'm completely fine and very, very happy with the cost of that. Now, I'm not sure if that's through my insurance. I'm pretty sure it's through my insurance. Nothing is $15 without some form of insurance. So I think my insurance took it, which is great. Yay, happy dance. But yeah. So the next thing that I want to talk about is changes that I'm noticing ish, I think. So I have and again, the YouTubes that I've watched, seen people let's say they get more irritable. The nurse had also recommended that at the beginning of the shot and the end of the shot, I might be a little more irritable than normal. Might be a little bit snippier. I did notice feeling anger in my hands, still in my chest, but a little bit in my hands. My hands were getting tingly from being mad. So that was interesting. I'm not sure if that's because I've heard about that or if it's because I was actually feeling it. I was feeling it though, so I just, mind over matter. We'll see how that continues on in the future. But and I've noticed too, maybe this is from the team. Maybe by the end of the week I'll notice something different. But I did find myself having a harder time crying because some stuff happened last night, and I found myself having a harder time crying, which was interesting. And it's day 1, so I don't know. Again, maybe it's all in my head. Maybe it's just I'm just so excited to have this that I'm automatically acting more masculine, even though it's just one shot of tea and it's really not doing that much. But so those are the changes I've noticed. Other than that, nothing really yet to report. I guess the only thing I do want to do is I don't like doing the whole "this is my voice one day on tea." It's really boring and not fun. So I personally prefer to use the phrase "the only thing constant is change." The reason I like that is because it was something. It's a lyric in Jekyll and Hyde. I know a poet used it too, but I personally am very connected to it because that was something I used a lot when I was changing when I first started college. That the only thing constant is change, and I think it's very fitting too for just being transgender that you're constantly changing and things in the world are constantly changing. So I think having that as my marker for my voice changing is, I don't know, it's very symbolic to me, and so therefore I picked that to be my my marker for how you can tell that my voice is changing up and down. And I guess I have finished everything I want to talk about. So the only thing left is if anyone can help me through YouTube with how to make a video. And I have editing equipment. I will probably edit this video. If not, then I'm a lazy motherfucker. But that's besides the point. I have not done a video in about 4 years. I took a basic documentary class, but I have limited things that I can have access to because I'm not a media study minor anymore. So I am really bad at making YouTube videos, and this is done through my webcam. So if anyone has any advice for apps to use and that sort of thing, I'm not looking to buy a $300 camera. I'm not looking to do that. I do not have those funds. I need funds to pay for the apartment, whatever. So I don't have really the funds to do that. But if anyone has any like ideas for things to do or some that are relatively cheaper, like is it just easier to have a camera and do this, then I will gladly do that. I will gladly find a camera and do this so I can track myself instead of through webcam with this sad, very grainy quality. So if anyone, like I said, repeating myself over and over, but if anyone has suggestions, that would be absolutely wonderful. And I guess for now, I'm signing off because I don't see anything left to talk about. I guess that's it. Thanks so much.